Hi everyone, welcome to the class. In the previous class, we have seen the introduction for the unit chemical kinetics, and we learned with respect to rate of a chemical reaction and what are the types based on the measurement of the rate. That is, the average rate of a chemical reaction and instantaneous rate of a chemical reaction. So we have observed. Now we'll try to continue with the concepts of the unit. First, we'll focus now if the stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants and products are not equal to 1, then how to represent or express the rate of a chemical reaction we'll try to learn. So this will be a very important numerical based type question for 1 mark and 2 mark, and important for competitive exam also. Now, for example, if I take a reaction, 2 moles of hydrogen iodide gives rise to H2 plus I2. So decomposition of hydrogen iodide gives rise to H2 and I2. Now for this, we need to represent rate of a chemical reaction. Now how to express the rate of a chemical reaction we'll learn with this example. Now rate of a chemical reaction will be equal to, now we know that with respect to reactant it is negative sign. So if the stoichiometric value for the respective species, either reactant or product, if it is 1, so then there is no need to take their number. So directly you can write the definition of rate as, so it is delta or D. So concentration of the respective species, Hi, divided by change with respect to time, delta T. As it is a reactant, we are writing the negative symbol. Now, if the value of the stoichiometric coefficient is equal to 1, so if you write this, it is sufficient. If it is not equal to 1, either it is less than 1 in the form of fraction or greater than 1. So then there is a need to include the stoichiometric coefficient in the rate equation form or in the expression of rate. Now here what we need to do is that we need to consider 1 divided by whatever the stoichiometric value is there, that is taken in the denominator. It is 1 by 2. Now this is with respect to the reactant species. So we need to take 1 divided by the stoichiometric coefficient. So we need to take 1 divided by the stoichiometric coefficient of either a reactant or a product if it is not equal to 1. So if it is equal to 1, it is indicated 1 by 1 is 1. Hence, no need to mention that. So hence, other than 1, if stoichiometric value is there, so definitely in the definition of rate or expression of rate, we need to take its stoichiometric value. Otherwise, so it will be wrong. Now, the same, so we can consider with respect to product now as it is a product, it is plus. Now for hydrogen, so nothing here indicates it is 1. Similarly, for iodine, so it is again 1. So hence no need to mention that 1. So you can directly write the definition with respect to concentration of H2 divided by change in time. And with respect to other product, as it is a product plus sign, 1 by 1 is 1, hence it is delta concentration of iodine divided by delta T. So like this, the definition of rate of a chemical reaction can be related with respect to all the reactants and products, so given in the equation. So when you're writing this, Stoichiometric value is there, you need to give importance for that. That is what very, very important you need to focus. So if it is equal to 1, no need to take that. If it is greater than or less than 1, that should be included in the definition equation. Now, so in this kind of problems, they will give, so either they will give one reactant, one product, or one product, and they will ask you to find the concentration of other or express the rate of other. Like this, in different ways they may ask the question. This is with respect to one example. We'll take one more example, how to write the definition. So we'll consider one more example. For example, 2 moles of nitric oxide on its oxidation, so gives rise to nitrogen dioxide. 2 moles of NO2. Now we need to express this in the definition of rate expression form. So here, the rate of a chemical reaction will be equal to, as it is a reactant, so we need to take negative sign. So with respect to first reactant, it is 2 is the stoichiometric value, hence it is 1 by 2, and change in concentration of that species divided by the time taken for the change, so will be equal to another reactant. So it is, as it is a reactant, negative sign, so 1 by 1 indicates it is 1, and no need to mention, directly you can write change in concentration of oxygen with respect to time taken. As it is a product, it should be plus sign, and the stoichiometric value is 2, hence it is 1 by 2 delta concentration of NO2 divided by delta T. So this is how we can able to represent the rate of a chemical reaction with respect to all the species. Hope this is clear. Now we'll move on to the next concept. So like this, you try to practice by taking any given equation, how to give its rate definition. So in the expression form by relating all the species. So you can relate all together. So, but when you are writing for reactant, put the sign negative. So when you are writing for product, put the sign positive for it. So keep remember it, and stoichiometric value, whatever it is there, you take, so divisible by 1. I will move on to the factors responsible for the rate of a chemical reaction, factors influencing the rate of a chemical reaction, or factors affecting the rate of a chemical reaction. Now there are various factors which will affect. So the important factors as per syllabus point of view we'll try to discuss. The first main factor which influence the rate of a chemical reaction is, so the participating substances concentration, that is the concentration of the reactant. Concentration of reactant on which the rate of a chemical reaction generally depends, except a few special cases that we'll try to discuss in the order of a chemical reaction. So in the next concepts. Now concentration of reactant so will influence the rate of a chemical reaction, whereas if it is a gaseous species, so if it is taking in a solution form, concentration we can take. So if the respective species are gases, then in the case of gas, instead of concentration, so their partial pressures will be taken. The second factor is temperature. So temperature will have generally an increased effect on the rate of a chemical reaction. So how it exactly increases? So we are learning with few supportive equations and illustrations with graphical representation forms. So explained by Maxwell-Boltzmann curve and by relating to the energy profile diagram. So generally it explains the rate of a chemical reaction increases. Generally it will doubles for every 10-degree rise in temperature. For every 10-degree increase or rise in temperature, you can see that rate of a chemical reaction almost doubles. That is how we'll try to learn in detail with the factor. Another factor which influence the rate of a chemical reaction is catalyst. As we all know, catalyst is a chemical substance which increases the rate of a chemical reaction without undergoing any chemical change in it. So without itself undergoing any change, so it will accelerates or increases the rate of a chemical reaction. How it is done? Again, with the help of energy profile diagram. So for uncatalyzed and catalyzed reactions, we'll try to see the differences. So these are the three important factors on which the rate of a chemical reaction depends. It is concentration of the reactant, temperature, and catalyst. Now we'll try to learn one by one each factor to support for the kinetic aspect. So we'll take the first one, concentration of the reactant. Now we know that so without reactant, so reaction will not proceed. Hence, the rate of a chemical reaction directly depends on the concentration. So rate of a chemical reaction so is directly depends on the concentration of the reactant, and it is explained by rate law. So by learning the rate law rate equation form, so it is direct indication of how the concentration of reactant varies. That is, rate of a chemical reaction directly depends on the concentration. So this is how we'll try to understand exactly with the help of rate law. Accordingly, the rate law states that or explains that this we learned in the equilibrium unit of HP itself. So you can recall that. So rate law states, so at constant temperature, it means the temperature maintained at the same condition. If you measure the rate of a chemical reaction, the rate of chemical reaction is directly proportional to products of, here the products refers to the multiplication. It's not the reaction products, it's a multiplication proportional to products of molar concentrations of reactants rise to their appropriate stoichiometric powers. Appropriate stoichiometric powers in an experimentally determined rate equation. It's not a simple equation, it should be experimentally determined rate equation. That means so the rate should determined on that step, then only we can take the respective rate equation form to put in the rate law. So what is this experimentally determined rate equation? So we'll learn with the simple examples later. So now just focus on the main points of the rate law. So at a constant temperature, rate law explains the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the products, that is the multiplication of all the molar concentrations of reactants, so rise to their appropriate powers, that is whatever the stoichiometric powers of the reactant is there, that should be raised. Now to understand this, we'll take a general equation. So assume AA plus BB gives rise to CC plus DD. Assume this is an experimentally determined rate equation where A, B are the reactants, A and B are reactants, capital C, capital D are the products, whereas the small a, b, c and d represents the stoichiometric powers, the stoichiometric coefficients, whether it may be equal to 1, greater than 1 or less than 1. Now, in such a general expression form, the rate law explains rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to the products of molar concentrations of reacting species. Now, how many reactants are there? So that many square brackets to indicate the concentration. So you try to write one by one, one after the other. It indicates the product, that is the multiplication of concentration of reactant species A and B, so rise to their appropriate stoichiometric powers. Now A concentration, its stoichiometric power is A, and B stoichiometric coefficient is raised as power, it is B. Now this is the rate law given statement. The rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to products of molar concentrations of reactants rise to their appropriate powers in an experimentally determined rate equation. Here, by removing the directly proportional, we'll get a constant of proportionality indicated by the small letter k. Now this equation form is considered as considered as rate equation. This form of the equation is called as rate equation. So where rate of a chemical reaction is equal to rate constant into the products of concentration of reactants rise to their appropriate stoichiometric powers. So here K is equal to rate constant or velocity constant. It is called as rate constant or velocity constant. So this is how the rate equation can be done. So the same rate equation, so we can take in differential rate equation form. So when we are writing the differential rate, so we need to take the definition of rate for the reactant. So we know that for the reactants, the definition is negative sign. So delta concentration of the reactants divided by time taken, delta R divided by delta T with negative sign to indicate it is a reactant. So K concentration of A power A, concentration of B power B. So this form of the equation is called as differential rate equation. Differential rate equation. So both are important. So once you understand the rate law, so you can able to write the rate equation for any given chemical reaction, provided it should be an experimentally determined rate equation. Then after writing the rate equation form, so you can convert that into differential rate equation So by taking the definition of reactant rate. So similarly, we have integrated rate equations, so that we have in detail as derivations that we'll take up in the next classes to learn. Now, this is very simple to understand. So based on this, you may get 1 mark important questions, and understanding of this is a continuation of next concepts. So without understanding the rate law, rate equation form, so you cannot able to give a clear information, or you cannot able to understand the detailed information of the next concepts. Now, by learning this, now we'll try to understand, so what is this constant K in detail, that is the rate constant. So we'll try to understand, so which will be helpful for us to understand the next concepts. Now we'll try to understand what is rate constant. Now you take that general expression where rate of a chemical reaction is equal to rate constant into concentration of A. So we don't know what is the stoichiometric power. So we'll assume that as X and Y. Now this is what it is. X may be any number, Y may be any number. Now under these conditions, assume the concentration of reactant A and the concentration of reactant B. So both are unity. Unity refers to, so their concentration will assume as 1 mole per liter. Now if you take that 1 mole per liter here, 1 and 1 to the power of any number, 1 to the power of any number will be always equal to 1. Hence, under these conditions, we can define rate of a chemical reaction is equal to rate constant or velocity constant. Now, hence, rate constant can be defined as the rate of a chemical reaction. Rate constant or velocity constant is defined as the rate of a chemical reaction So when it can be defined as a rate of a chemical reaction is an important condition which we need to take in its definition. So when it will become, or when we can define it as a rate, when the concentration of the reactants is taken as unit. This is what the definition of the rate constant. So rate constant is defined as the rate of a chemical reaction, that is K is equal to rate when it will become equals. So when the concentration of the reactants is taken as unity, if it is taken as unity, then it will become R is equal to K 1 to the power of X 1 to the power of Y. So in that case, 1 to the power of X and 1 to the power of Y will become 1. Hence, R is equal to K. We can define the velocity constant or rate constant is equal to rate of a chemical reaction. So this is in simple to understand. Now we'll try to learn so few simple informations interlinking for the next concepts to understand. So we'll understand as few information of note. So first we'll try to learn, so what is elementary reaction? And what is a complex reaction? And what is meant by rate determining step? So these points we'll try to understand before going to the next concept, order of a chemical reaction. Now the first one, if we take, it is elementary reaction. So those reactions which takes place in a single step. The reactions which takes place in a single step are all referred to as elementary reactions. So these are the chemical reactions which takes place in a single step. Then what is a complex reaction? So complex reactions are those, so for its completion, it will take multiple steps. Those chemical reactions which takes place in more number of steps. So then it is called as complex reaction, and overall multiple steps for a complex reaction is also referred to as mechanism of a reaction. Now you can just recall one mechanism. Now there a tertiary butyl bromide is going to give tertiary butyl alcohol, but that is the overall reaction. If we consider in detail of that, so that reaction takes place in two steps. So first, a generation of carbocation takes place, then the attack of carbocation by a nucleophile, that is OH minus, takes place to give the product. There, carbocation generation is the slowest step, whereas the attack of nucleophile will be the fastest step. Hence, in the complex reactions, in the multiple steps, so all the reactions will not take place at the same speed. All the reactions will not take place at same speed. So among those multiple step reaction, there will be a slowest step that we need to recognize, and we need to relate that. So that will give our next information. So it is the rate determining step. Now, what is rate determining step is, so in a complex reaction, so the slowest step is taken to give the rate expression. So because, so this is the step which determines the rate of a chemical reaction. The slowest step in a multi-step reaction will determine the rate. Hence it is called as rate determining step. So why it is determining the rate? Because it is taking place very slowly. So if you alter the conditions required for this step, so the overall speed of the reaction can be controlled. Hence the rate determining step, so is the slowest step in a given chemical reaction if it is taking place in many steps. If it is a single step, no problem for that. Directly we can write the rate equation. Whereas in the complex reaction, the slowest step is what? So we can also refer to as experimentally determined rate. So this experimentally determined rate step will be this. The slowest step is considered as experimentally determined rate step. For that, the rate equation if we write, so we can understand. So the reactions which are taking place, the steps which are taking place at very fast, so they are not going to decide the rate of a chemical reaction. So the steps which are taking place very slowly, so that is going to decide the rate of a chemical reaction. Hence, this is having a very good importance in understanding complex reactions, because many reactions will not take place in single step. So they involve complex reactions. So they are referred to as mechanism of a chemical reaction. So this, with a few more additional concepts, we'll learn in detail in our coming class. So we'll continue in the next class.